Hello, I'm Mark, and he's Chris.
Hello.
And for 24 years, we've been making video games. We've made Uplink, Darwinia, Defcon, Multiwinia, Prison Architect, that was a big one, Scanner Somber, and now we are working on The Last Starship, which is our 2D space construction game. And you would think that after doing this for 20 years, we would know what we're doing.
Years.
But 24 years, yeah. Don't even know how long we've been doing it. But we don't. We haven't got a clue, and we're still bumbling forward, stumbling through the darkness.
In the dark, yeah. With
And
no real
every
clear
now-
idea what we're doing.
No, of what direction we're headed in or where we're going to end up.
Deeply
But every now and
unprofessional in our approach to everything.
deeply unprofessional, yeah. And every now and again, we release an update for The Last Starship, which is very well received. And we make videos about what we've been up to so that you can tell us whether you like what we're doing or whether you think we've stepped in the wrong direction. And so without further ado, let's dive into the video for update 15/16 because we were too lazy to do one for 15.
Okay, let's do that. Boom.
So, my friend, what have you achieved in the last 3 months?
Well, we've got 2 alphas worth of features to look at because we were lazy and we didn't make an alpha 15 video. So let's go straight in, shall we?
Let's dive in.
Here's a nice ship. I think you'll agree.
It's a very nice ship.
I'm going to do something new. I'm going to go to the editor and I'm going to paint it.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
Check out this new tool. Right? I can pick colours like this, zoom in on my ship, and I can paint little lines like this. Right? Pretty cool, right? I've got symmetry turned on, so it marks both sides. I can change the shape of my brush, right? So I can do angles.
Yes.
Pretty cool, right? And I can invent a new colour like this. Hey, invent's a strong word. So I can use this colour palette.
You discover a new colour.
Discovered a new colour, and I can paint around this, like so. And I can actually form quite intricate patterns using this technique. Pretty cool, right?
I love this, man. I love this. I mean, it looks like really a simple thing to be demonstrating, but the scope now for player creativity, for people to build up their own fleets and their own fleets to have their own livery is really there. And I think it's going to make such a difference to how this game looks.
I know. It's been on our list for such a long time, and I think that it's taken me all this time to realise how important player personalisation is. For ships, and we should have done this earlier. I mean, it comes at the same time as a whole bunch of other updates like this. A bit more subtle, but if you look close up, there's actually quite a lot more detail now in the paneling, right? You see all these little crevices and everything. Like, this is all on normal mapped surface now. So as the ship turns around and the light shifts around the ship, all of these shadows and dark areas and light areas adjust.
Nice,
and it's just a lot of extra detailing. So if I go back to this painting tool, it's got a bunch of other features as well. I mean, for example, I can pick the colours that I just used, and I can adjust them at will, right? So I can recolour.
Oh yeah,
once
that's
I've
cool.
painted.
That's
like
cool.
a palette-based
That's very
system,
cool.
you know. I've got some other examples that I'll show you. All right, here's a Johnny Struggles ship called the Aberration of Light. Right? Let's take a look at it. Look at that beast.
That's nice.
Right.
Yeah.
Look at that. When have we ever had ships that have looked like that before?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what looks
it's brilliant.
It's just a completely different vibe, isn't it? You know, like it looks more evil somehow. Right. I've noticed with it in particular. Look how cool it looks when it's.
Oh, that looks so cool. It's like 90s rave mode.
Yeah. Well, I think there's an element of me that wants to see like classic era color schemes pop out here. You know, like Spectrum era color schemes and stuff.
Yeah.
Like I've no idea what people are going to do. So this entire painting feature was created by our intern Jacob. He's our Imperial College intern for this year.
What's that? Was that like a camo shit?
Like a. Isn't that brilliant?
The narm
I just
shit.
thought, what's the most pointless colour scheme that I can think of?
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And it's like, you know what? Jungle camo, right?
Yeah.
Because, I don't know, there's just something about it that looks really cool.
I
Let's
love
jump to
that,
somewhere
man.
where there isn't actually a nebula.
What's that called? Ho Chi Minh?
I think it looks fucking brilliant, you know. Fantastic. All right, let's move on. All right, I'm going to load a new ship. and I'm going to show some new features. We've got some new
Cool.
in-game objects. We've got some new
all right.
in-game furniture. Check us out, right? So this is
the last space IKEA.
That's right, the last space IKEA. We're blending in a little bit of Prison Architect here, and so this is one of our big factory ships playing the later section of the Stargate. You can see all this production shit going on. So if we accelerate time slightly, it's quite a simple model at the moment. I've only really just started it, but I wanted to put the furniture in because I think the furniture on its own is quite cool.
I think it is, and like the first thing it made me think about. I was watching a video recently about Event Horizon.
Yeah.
Right, and how Event Horizon. Interestingly, Event Horizon failed at the box office and critically
really?
been panned. But it's one of my it is.
People
And it's one of my favourites. They have. It's one of my favourite sci-fi movies, and the clip that I was watching was when they were in their kind of living quarters listening to the recording of the ship that's dying. And so much of world building for me from all of the sci-fi I've seen is when they're in their habitation quarters. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Like in Alien,
That's right. Yeah.
Is it Alien or Aliens when they like wake up and then suddenly they're all chowing down in
they're all sat around the big table, aren't they?
In the galley, aren't they?
Yeah.
And these are the ones that really sort of make you feel like, this is what it would be like to live in that space. Or Kubrick when they're jogging round the outside, right?
I love that shot.
You have to have that well, it's an incredibly famous shot, isn't it? But it's bringing it down to that really human element. You might think, it's just a sofa. But actually, look how I've expanded that into the most important feature in the game.
That's right. And it's... Have I got any more of them? I haven't got any more of them. Let's dismantle these sofas while these guys are sat on it. Screw you, man! You can't have no more sofas.
Yeah, stand up, go back to work.
Yeah. So you just have one piece, right? And if you lay it out like this, it sort of auto attaches to. So it forms shapes.
And get a little
like
corner
that.
sofa.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's weird. It's a weird thing. It sort of brings it to life in a strange way.
I mean, we had a long conversation at the start, didn't we? You didn't want to do a colony simulator.
Yes, and that's still true.
But we have to do a little bit more colony sim.
I think what we need is the feeling that the place is a real human place. That's the thinking behind this. So there'll probably be more of this in the future in terms of like habitation style equipment. That doesn't serve a mechanical process, but it's just for the crew. But we'll see. So the plants, they actually grow, and if you have water shortages, which is pretty common in survival mode, for example, then they sort of turn yellow and lilt and die. And if
I like that.
And if you've got a healthy colony, they grow into nice luscious green bushes. All right, that is furniture. You can buy that at any good supply depot. We'll now have furniture.
Any good space IKEA will have furniture.
All right, good. All right, so a common problem. Let's talk about a common problem that people have in this game, in industry modes particularly, is you're in industry mode, right? You've got your factory ship all working away, right? And you've got some asteroid belts, right? And you've mined your asteroid belt to nothing, right?
Right.
There's nothing left. All right. What do you do? Well, this is actually quite a serious problem. And you have to start searching further and further and wider. But eventually, the resources, because you're in a fixed system, because you're in a sector map, you have a fixed number of resources, right? And we do now have cases of where people have run out of resources. And it's kind of game breaking, because there's no way to get more.
Sounds like a balancing issue.
Yeah, well, that's right. So what do we do about this? Well, I've invented a new system called Asteroid cracking, right, which I'll now demonstrate. Here is an asteroid, and this happens to have some copper minerals remaining, but let's pretend that it's fully mined out. Let's pretend it's like 3 hours later and I've completely mined it out. What I can now do is I can take my guns, I can go to battle stations, and I can target that asteroid, right?
Yeah.
Now, we're now going to bombard that asteroid with rocket impacts. Let's turn the ship.
That sounds like it'd be quite good fun.
Yeah, it is kind of satisfying. I was thinking about it, and I was thinking, shall I solve this from a balance point of view? Shall I make it so that minerals regenerate? or shall I let players blow things up? Right?
Yeah,
and obviously I went with the latter. It takes a while, right? It's not like an enemy spaceship that you can just pop, right? You have to bombard the crap out of these things, and you can see that we have shattered it into 3 new asteroids, each of which is smaller, but they each now have new copper mineral deposits, right? So it's like we've cracked the asteroid open, and what's left on the inside is now what was originally on the surface, right? But there's more.
Nice,
left now.
yeah. And can you
use it
keep doing that?
You can keep doing it, but they always get smaller, right? The size of
Right.
the mineral patch is always smaller than the parent. So if you crack them again, they get smaller again. You get diminishing returns.
Right. Okay.
So you sort of have to keep an eye on which asteroids are which, right? Because the minerals that you see on the asteroid at the start of the game are the only minerals that you'll get when you crack it open, right?
Okay.
So this one will give you tellurium and copper, and this one will give you copper and tellurium. It's the same. And so you can use it for any mineral type, but it doesn't work on, like, if there's a dead asteroid like this one. This asteroid has never had any useful minerals in it. If you crack it open, it won't have any afterward, right? So that is how I've solved this problem. I think that will extend the available minerals pretty much indefinitely. With a little bit of effort, once you've mined the system out, you can go and crack all the asteroids open and get replenished. All right, onward then. We're going to leave industry mode behind now and switch to one of our other game modes. We're going to switch to survival mode. I'm going to load a game.
Hasn't had any love for a little while, survival mode.
Yeah, they're all coming along quite nicely now. I'm quite happy with the progress we're making in each of these game modes. So here's my survival ship. You can see it's equipped very differently. It's equipped for long-term survival, right? It's equipped for recycling. It's equipped for growing our own crops, because resources are much more scarce, right? Resources, you just can't buy resources anymore in survival mode, because everyone has bought everything. The supermarket shelves are all empty. And as we know, the general cycle of survival mode is that you arrive in a sector, you do your activities within the sector, and then you jump to the next sector from here. There's always a location that jumps you to the next sector.
And the goal really is how far you can get, isn't it?
The goal is how far can you get?
that?
Yeah. How long can you live?
How big can you get that number? Yeah.
Yeah, and how many people can you bring with you? It's sort of a Battlestar Galactica style, endlessly on the run type scenario. So now, when you go to this location at the end of the sector, there's now a new structure in place. Let's take a look. All right, here we are. Let's zoom out and look at this. This.
Ooh. Hello.
This is the jump gate. Right? This magnificent facility, designed by Johnny
It's a bit
Struggle,
bashed up, isn't it?
it happens to be quite bashed up. I'm happy that's happened. We've had a little bit of random luck, because it's broken. It's offline. But that is the jump gate. You can actually see that it's misaligned, right? Because that is the jump gate. Oh
yes, okay.
That is the jump gate path right there.
Right.
So in order to get to the next sector, we have to go to FTL, and it says jump gate offline due to damage. Right, that's handy, isn't it? Right, so we can't actually jump to the next sector until we repair.
Why does nothing work?
Yeah, why does nothing work around here? What's wrong with you?
Works.
Can you just have this one? You had one job to do. You know.
Country's gone to the dogs.
Yeah. So if we bring out, luckily we have lots of repair drones on our ships. So if we bring our ships into position, we will find that our drones launch and immediately begin the job of repair. I think so. Whilst this is happening, it's a good time to mention that the jump gate is sort of a challenge at the end of every sector, right? And in this case, the challenge is simply to repair the jump gate. It's not that big of a deal, really. It's just going to take a little bit of time. But sometimes the jump gate is under attack from pirates, or is being blockaded by pirates that are demanding that you pay them a service charge, for using their jump gate.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Sometimes
the jump gate just needs a fee of its own that you have to pay. And sometimes the jump gate needs specific parts, right? So sometimes you'll arrive here and you'll find that they're in the contracts list. Let's see, do we have one here? In the contracts list, you'll find that there's a mission called Activate the Jump Gate, and it will actually tell you here that they need 20 processor components and 15 electric motors, right? And so they actually have a resource requirement. And until you provide those resources, the jump gate will not activate.
You're going nowhere. So there's a little boss battle at the end of every sector.
That's
like
right. It's a little bit of a challenge, There we go. So
there's a lot of damage. Oh, it's lit up, mate.
It's lit up. Yeah, you don't have to fully repair the exterior or anything. It's just that it needs to be repaired enough, right? This is remember that in survival mode, civilization is sort of in disaster mode, isn't it? Civilization is permanently fleeing from the vacuum collapse that is absorbing everything. It's expanding at the speed of light and it's absorbing everything. So there's panic. There's panic in the civilization, and these are these jump gates are the last ways out of these sectors.
The last ditches.
Yeah.
Everything is held together with duct tape.
Yeah, that's right. Right. So let's disable battle stations mode. So it now tells us all ships must enter the jump gate. So we'll maneuver all of our ships. So you can go anywhere in the length of the jump gate is valid.
Okay.
Right? So that's a perfectly valid place. Let's bring you forward to here, and let's maneuver you to here. All right, good. So all of our ships are inside. So then we go to FTL and press prepare jump. And all 3 of our ships will align to the jump gate. Right, our drones return home. It's all very cool, isn't it?
Nice.
Look how cool this is.
It is very cool, yeah.
I love this stuff.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's like
is there epic music?
There's no epic music. Do you want some epic music?
Oh,
Sing us some epic music.
Dun, 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 dun. I just wrote that, mate, in my head just then.
There you go. Brilliant. Magnificent. I love it. That can be the new theme tune. We're still using your little jingle in the opening section. Yeah, so I don't know if you noticed, this is a slightly different visual effect in FTL, because we're traveling between sectors, right? We're making a longer distance jump. It's a little bit different. Background's a bit different. And we also have this counter. This is the number that matters, right? 390 survivors on our little ragtag fugitive fleet. Okay, here's a new feature that we've added. Arena mode has had some love. Now, if you recall, arena mode is a mode in which you can fight, this ship versus that ship. You can say, like, I've built this ship. I want to try 3 of my ship versus 5 of that ship. So this is how arena mode works, right? You pick your ship and you pick an enemy ship, like so. There's a new feature down here that shows you the relative weightings of those 2 ships, right? The combat rating favors the fortress, and the combat rating is the important one. So we can increase the number of this ship until it looks even. Now, what we can do now, though, the real new feature is that we can actually add different types of ships.
Oh,
so
nice.
if I pick a different ship, like let's say a Bellatrix Deflected, I now have 2 ships on my side. Let's have 2 of those. And on this side, I can pick another ship over here. Let's have some reasonable Procyon fighters. Let's have 5 of those. Right. So you can build entire armies. Well, navies would be a better word, wouldn't it? You can build entire fleets made up of different ships. And then when you click battle, they are arranged in formation.
Nelson style.
So you'll see. So you see, we've got some of the painting, right? We've got our green team.
Yeah.
That you were laughing at my camouflage earlier, but now you know who's on the green team, don't you?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
And so this arena mode continues to get these updates, right? And you can I love it because you can all that work that we've done on the simulation and the AI and the exterior, it all kind of comes together, and you can just watch these magnificent ballerina style destructive montages of ships blowing the crap out of each other. Right? It looks really cool, doesn't it?
It does look really cool. And
you see all the deflectors,
Nelson in space,
pushing missiles to one side.
Yeah.
It reminds me a little bit of gratuitous space battles,
Right.
Well, because that had the same thing. Like gratuitous space battles had the fleet on the left versus the fleet on the right, and then you just sort of set them going, and you just sit back and watch the carnage. It just looks so cool, doesn't it?
It does look very cool. So I hope you enjoyed that. That's everything that we've done for Alpha 15 and 16. We're going to be back in the autumn with the next update to the last Starship. And our plan, we swear we're going to go gold and launch V1 in spring next year. So we're heading up to that.
Sorry, I just had an involuntary little giggle there.
Joking on you.
Okay. Yeah, carry on.
We hang out on the Discord channel, so make sure you head over there to tell us anything, and we will catch up with you after the summer.
All right.